Can't-
Oh, here we go.
Something just popped up.
Yep.
Live.
Technology and me, we're just like best friends.
Will's always on call.
We are streaming live. Okay, and I think I got you all in the right view for speaker view, and perfect. Okay, oh, and I gotta mute you. One of the things was funny. I saw one of these memes, and they're like, "What is it like when the virus is all over and we're back to normal? What do you want to like keep saying to people?" It's like, "Can you mute yourself? Can you mute yourself? Oh, mute all, mute all." Okay, we're gonna do some yoga. Mute, yes. There we go. I think you're muted, and you can hear me, right? All right. So let's grab our mats. I think you can, hopefully you can see me. I know I tilted that camera earlier. May chop my head off here, but so we're gonna start out in Baddha Konasana, our butterfly legs. With our soles of our feet together today, a little bit different. There's been a request for lower back, so we're gonna work on that. With your feet together, the soles of your feet together, just let your thighs open up and your knees drop on down to the ground. You want to hold on to your ankles or your legs, wherever you can reach. You can use that to help assist yourself, bring yourself up nice and tall, maybe even drawing your shoulders back. And with that, continue to reach the crown of your head on up to the ceiling. You can close your eyes here. And it is a different way to start than we normally would. So just notice what's going on in your mind about what just happened with that and how you're feeling. Begin to bring in your breath. So a nice, loud, audible breath this morning, breathing in through your nose, big breath in. Maybe start out just by sighing it out. And then gently close your lips and continue breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Maybe with a slight restriction at the back of your neck, back of your throat rather. And see if you can breathe loud enough that you can hear your own breath. Notice where you're carrying tension. Relax your shoulders down more. And if you can let your hips just open and your knees drop. Not forcing anything down, just letting it go. Soften your face. And then continue to press your tailbone down into the mat, maybe rocking just slightly forward. Keep reaching the crown of the head up. Shoulders continue to drop down. Gently open your eyes, take your hands to the outside of your legs. You can bring them up to push them in together. And then stretch your legs on forward. We're going to cross your right leg over the left so you can put your foot flat on the floor. We're just going to hug in this right leg. You're going to be stretching. You'll feel the IT band probably in here. Just feel around. Maybe gentle movements. Continue to bring length in your spine. It's going to help with that lower back. We're going to be getting into some twisting, opening. Take your left hand to use that to wrap around your right leg. We're going to bring your right arm right tucked behind you into a spinal twist. As you pull your belly in, begin to twist. And then continue to drop your shoulders down. Breathing in that deep breath that we were working on just earlier. If your mouth closed, breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. Inhale, nice and big, create some length, reach up a little taller. And then as you exhale, twist a little deeper, just listening to your body. Next inhale, pull that belly in, come on forward. Let your right leg long and bring your left leg in. Same thing, we're gonna just sit here for a few moments before we get twisting. Just shimmying around, maybe feeling your sitting bones, noticing what you're feeling here. And then holding on with that right arm, belly pulls in, inhale. Your left hand tucks right behind your tailbone as you twist to the left. Continue to breathe. And then that big inhale to lengthen and exhaling as you twist. Belly pulls in, inhale, come forward. Stretch both legs out in front of you. And we're gonna take a forward fold here. If you have your straps and you wanna use your straps to assist you, you can grab those. Or always create a soft bend in your knees. Arms up, breath in. Exhale, fold on over. If you can grab the soles of your feet, that's great. Try to keep your spine long. Continue to pull your shoulders back. So we don't want to round our shoulders. Keep pulling them back. Nice long spine. And then your chest melts towards your thighs. Not so much your nose here, just your chest. Maybe your gaze is right towards your big toes. Breath in, inhale. Exhale, maybe sink a little bit more. And then when you've reached your edge of where you think you can go with that long spine, that flat back, then you can go ahead and just round over and relax. This might be where you really feel that lower back release. Keep breathing. Maybe your legs can straighten a little bit more, especially if you've had a really big bend in them. You don't want to lock them out, but maybe they can lengthen a little bit more. You can hit the back of your hamstrings. Keep dropping those shoulders away. Inhale, come all the way up. And let's just do a single leg forward fold here so your right leg can tuck on in. And again, if you need to shimmy onto your sitting bones, moving yourself around, little bend in that left leg. If you really need to bend it, bend it. Lift on up, inhale. Exhale, fold on over. And this is if you have that strap and you want to put it on the arch of your foot, give yourself a little tug. You know, for me, this is definitely a great lower back release. Notice in your body where else that you feel it. Maybe that right hip, back of your hamstring. Just observe in your body where you are feeling this. Inhale, lift on up and change sides. Notice what's happening in your transition too. Sensations you're feeling. Breathe on in and inhale, come on up again. And let's try our Baddha Konasana again for soles of our feet together. Just pause here, noticing how this feels now compared to, maybe compared to is not the best word, but how you felt when you first did this, if there's any difference in what you're feeling. Take those hands to the outside of your knees, press them on up. Let's roll right into table. On all fours, stacking your joints. I was going to turn the mat this way. Let's see what happens this way. Maybe you can hear me better. I know sometimes we have issues with the audio. Let's try this. All right, so shoulders over elbows, over wrists, hips over knees. And let's start just by taking some cat and cow curls. Really spread your fingers wide and then press your knuckles into the mat. Inhale, lift on up, open your throat, open your chest. Exhale, curl your spine one vertebrae at a time. Inhale, lift on up. Exhale, curl. You're going to go ahead and take 5 more sets of these in each direction. And what I want you all to concentrate on is as you are curling up like a cat, pay attention to the vertebrae in between, the space between each of the vertebrae in your back. And as you open, feel what you feel on the front of your chest, on your throat. Going at your own breath, really full breaths in, take in as much air as you can and let go as much as you can. And notice between the transitions what you're feeling too. And after you've completed your 5 sets, we can meet in a neutral spine. You're looking pretty good there. Okay. So next we're going to take another C curve with our spine. You're going to take your left leg, stretch it out long behind you, and then swing it over to the right. So flex that left leg and your right body is going to curl into a C. Really flex your back leg, and your gaze is going to go right towards your back toes. Keep pressing maybe a little bit more juice into that left hand, and you'll feel a wonderful opening in your left side ribs. You scrunch all the organs on the right, stimulating them. Inhale, come back to center, spread your knees wide on the mat, big toes to touch, and sink back into child's pose. So really melt your hips down towards your heels. Keep dropping your chest down towards your mat. Spread your fingers wider and then extend your hands a little bit. Maybe you can creep them forward, walk them a little bit more forward onto your mat. Pinkies hanging off. And that'll allow you to sink your chest deeper down towards the back. And maybe your bum will sink more towards your hips, getting into those lower backs. Inhale, lift back up into table. And then we're going to stretch out that right leg behind us and swing it on over to the left. And a nice curl on over to the left. Like I got a 3D mat going on where I'm looking forward. Keep that right foot flexed. Keep pointing those toes. And this time, maybe a little bit more. That right hand pressing down. And that'll help you to curl a little bit deeper. Inhale, come back to center. Bring those knees together. And then sink back into child's pose. Inhale, come on back up into table. Back into table, curl your toes on under, and we're gonna take down dog. But in down dog today, I want you to like super bend your knees, more than you'd ever bend your knees before. And then lift your tailbone on up to the ceiling. Knees bend. Take your hands wide to the outside edges of your mat. And then press your shoulder kind of down towards your thigh. You're going to press your chest towards your thigh. Now bend your right knee. Maybe straighten your left leg a little. We're going to walk the dog here. Bend your left leg. Just go back and forth, walking out your dog. Nice and slow. Come to stillness. And then slowly continue to lift your exhale, going up to the ceiling. So your legs may straighten. Bring that right foot forward to meet your right hand. Runner's lunge. You're gonna come on up. So your back toes are stacking, your heel are stacking over your back toes. Your hands, you need to tense your fingers on up. You wanna press your hands down. Sometimes here I like to tense my fingers on up and it gives me a little bit more lift in my chest. And then continue to draw your shoulders away from your ears here. Nice long spine. Gaze right to the top of your mat, not looking forward, just straight down. Continue to lift your back hamstring up towards the ceiling. Drop your back knee down and then sink on back towards your heel. Flex that front foot, and we're gonna stretch our front hamstring here. Rock on forward. We're just gonna swing that right leg around, back into table. Curl our toes under, back into down dog. Send your gaze right between your back toes. And now bring that left leg to your left foot to your left hand. A runner's lunge on the left side. Just taking in all those cues from the other side, seeing what you can remember based on what you felt on the other side. So not necessarily me cueing you every single thing, but see if you can find what you felt on the other side and maybe something different. Back knee drops down. You can uncurl your toes, sink on back towards your heel for a hamstring stretch on our left side. You may be up here, you may be down here. All right, let's rock it forward a little, bring that leg around, back into table. And go ahead, child's pose, either with your knees together or apart, whichever one you desire. Come back into table. We had a request for some shoulder work too, so we're gonna do thread the needle. So you're gonna bring your knees just a little bit wider in your table. Right arm reaches on up to the ceiling. Breathe in. And as you exhale, bring it on through underneath your left arm. Resting right onto that shoulder. Tense the fingers on your left hand. I'm gonna say right now, if you're somebody that's like looking at the dust bunnies in your house, just close your eyes. Don't be looking at dust bunnies. When we're on the mat, you know, these things that I look around things like, oh, there's dust here or there. Do that. Close your eyes.
Reach your left arm on up. Then you can make some circles with that left shoulder, your left wrist, one way, the other. And then maybe tucking that left arm behind you, a little bind. Notice what happened with your right shoulder, if it came up off the ground, if you can maybe scoot it down a little more. And then maybe you can take your left leg, a little kickstand, kick it on out, up on your toes. All kinds of options. Just do what your body needs today, right now. If your leg is out, bring it in. Bring that left arm down, press yourself on up. Back to table. Still with your legs wide a little, we're gonna take it on the other side. So left arm reaches on up and comes on through. Go ahead and advance through the poses as you see fit. If you want to bring that right arm up, circles with your shoulder, circles with your wrist. If at any point you notice that left shoulder's kind of coming up off the mat, back off. You can bring your arm down. Maybe create that bind behind your back. Just resting your hand on your hip. And then maybe you kickstand that right leg out. Maybe you don't. And if you have, notice if that left shoulder's come up. And if maybe you lift it up, you can pull it a little bit longer and wider out. Your leg is out, bring it in. And then using your right hand, press yourself on up, back into table, and sink back again. Child's pose of your choice, knees together, knees apart. Inhale, come on up. Gonna roll onto our bums. Facing the mat wide. We're gonna do some windshield wipering here with our legs. A nice wide stance. Our legs, leg length. Arms point behind us. Chris is already there. She's excited. She's like, yes, I know where we're going. Just back and forth. Seeing what you're feeling. Maybe two more on each side. And then when you come to your right side, we're gonna take our modified pigeon. So that right leg will come parallel at the top of the mat. Flex that right foot. And if you need to lift yourself, scoot yourself so that your hips are square to the front of the mat. Lift up nice and tall, breath in. Exhale, fold over that front shin. Walk yourself on over. This is where if you have a block or a book, maybe even like a bound up towel, if you want to rest your chest on that to help assist, that's an option. If you know full pigeon and you want to extend your left leg behind you, you can take that as an option as well. Inhale, lift yourself on up. Come back to center, maybe a couple more back and forth with those hips. We're gonna come to our left side, same thing, line up that shin parallel, flex your left foot, adjust yourself so you're sitting square, and then just fold yourself on over. Inhale, lift on up. I think today's one of those days I could have just stayed there. So if you want to stay there, it's like at any point you're like, oh, I'm staying here, just stay there because I could have just fallen asleep there. All right, so we're gonna do, let's flop onto our bellies, whichever way you can see me. We're gonna do, I'll explain it. So if you want to see, look up and see what we're doing first. We're gonna lay in our T position on our bellies. And then we're going to be tenting one hand and then kind of rolling on over, opening up our hips. So, you know, I don't know the name of this thing. It's just a thing. So that way, as you can only, as I'm trying to explain this and my back is to you, you can't hear me. All right, so onto your belly. Tee out your arms. Tent your left hand. So your right arm is shooting straight out from your shoulders. Bend your left knee and then peel your hip on open. Just roll it on over. So you could be feeling maybe in your hips here, your shoulder. And just notice where you're feeling that. Inhale, roll back onto your belly, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to take your right hand, bend your right knee, and then roll on over. Inhale, roll yourself back around. And we're going to lift ourselves and take a upward facing dog. So bring your hands, actually, first we're going to do a little, you know what, I changed my mind. We're going to do like a sphinx. Take a sphinx. So bring your elbows right underneath your shoulders. Fingers are spread wide. And the soles of your feet, the tops of your feet where you have your shoelace are pressing into the mat. Press yourself on up with your forearms and just lift on through. Feel that separation between your shoulders and your neck. Press your hips down into the mat. It's going to protect your lower back. Keep breathing and notice your gaze. Breath in, and on your exhale, bring your cheek, your right cheek down to the mat. Bring your arms down by your sides with your palms face up. So notice the feel of the curve in your shoulders as your shoulders just drop and open, maybe that space between your back. Complete surrender onto your mat here. Bring your chin to neutral. Flip your palms down. We're going to take a locust. So your legs, make sure your legs come together on this one. And you're going to lift up your heels, try to lift your thighs, your legs off the mat, squeeze and lengthen your feet to the back. At the same time, lift your shoulders on up. Spread your fingers wide and lift. Breath in. Exhale, come on down, bring your left cheek down to the mat. Spin your palms up or down. Bring your chin back to neutral. We're going to take locust again. This time we're going to have an option to do an arm bind. So if you want to grasp your hands behind your back, and you're going to pull your hands away from your shoulders as you lift. Make sure you're breathing. Here it's difficult to breathe. So really pull in the big, full, deep breath in and out. Breath in and out. Keep drawing your hands back, shoulders back. One more inhale. Release it down. Cheek to the mat, either side. Nice. Kind of notice here if your heartbeat just kicked up a little bit, what you're feeling. Bring your hands down by your lower ribs. Press your feet on into the mat, and we're going to lift up into upward facing dog. So you can leave your legs on the ground, or you can pull your legs up off. You want to feel an upward facing dog. Like you're stretching your body long. So keep pressing those tops of your feet into the mat. Keep lifting your head on up. Nice lengthening, lifting feeling. Your legs are up. Drop your legs up and then counter stretch into child's pose. This, you might hear the little cracks. You bring your knees together. That lower back is going to love this. Inhale, come on up into table. Curl your toes. Let's take down the dog. And then step your hands right to your feet into a rag doll. Just let your head hang heavy. Maybe a really good bend to your knees, super bend to your knees. That's gonna get that lower back again. And then you know those bobbleheads? Just pretend like you're a bobblehead. And let your head just go, not really holding on. And keep drawing your shoulders now up. So they're gonna go up, letting your head hang heavy. Gravity is gonna work here. And now super slowly, one vertebrae at a time, you can use your hands on your thighs. You're gonna bring yourself up to standing. Head chopped off over there. I don't know what we got. Okay. They're great. So come on to the back of your mat. We're just gonna do a couple warriors and then we'll hit the mat again. So right leg forward. Let's get the back leg so it's a little bit of an angle in. Hips are going to be square to the front of your mat. We're going to take warrior one. We'll fly through all the warriors. That's what we'll do. Arms on up. Sink on in. Front knee is aiming towards a 90-degree bend, and the back leg, the back edge of your foot between your pinky and your heel slicing on down so you get a little lift in your arch of your foot. That's going to open on up for your hips. Fingers are wide. Gaze your drishti straight ahead. Next inhale, open on up to warrior two so that back foot spins parallel to the mat. Arms are reaching in opposite directions, but our shoulders are relaxed. Check your front knee. Make sure that front knee is not caving in and you can see your big toe. And continue to press down on the back edge of that back foot. Now bring your back hand, you're going to tuck it behind your tailbone, your palms facing outward. And that's going to remind us to continue to lengthen and not dump into our lower back that we've just opened up. Spin your front palm up, and we're going to take proud warrior. Reaching up. Go ahead, use that forearm to press into your back. Keep lifting, opening up on that right side. On back to warrior two. Spin your right foot on in. Bring your hands to your hips. Big breath in. Exhale, keeping a flat back, pull forward nice and slowly. And then all the way down, bring your hands to the mat and fold. You want to rock towards your toe ball mounds a little bit so we're not rocking backwards. Inhale, lift all the way up. Touch our hips. And we're going to take triangle on this side, so spin that right foot forward again. So we're in our warrior two. And in our warrior two, we're going to just draw that left hip back, slowly begin to straighten, but not all the way, that front foot. Reach with your right arm as far as you can. Keep reaching, keep reaching. Keep pulling that left hip back. And when you can't reach any farther, drop that right arm down, left arm up. If you have a block, this is a great place to put a block, or you can go ahead and rest your hand on your shin. Continue to pull up and in on your stomach, so you're using your core. And then continue to open up that left shoulder, spin it on up to the ceiling. Like opening our shoulders here. Inhale, use that core, lift all the way up, back into our warrior two. Straighten that leg, bring your arms down a little, spin that right foot in. Left foot's gonna spin, so you may be looking the other way. We're just gonna do the same thing on the other side. So we'll start with warrior one. Our back foot is maybe like at 2 o'clock or so, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Bring your hips square to the front of the mat. Front knee bend. Arms up, warrior one. Really rooting down the pinky toe side of your back foot. Checking out that front knee that you're not dipping on in. Keep pulling it away. Inhale, keep that gaze right in front of you. Open up to warrior two, spin your back foot flat. Right onto parallel with the back of the mat. Keep nudging your front knee out to the left. Shoulders relax. Set yourself up for the proud warrior. So your back arm tucks behind you, pressing on in to your lower back with your forearm. Front palm spins up and open it up. Proud warrior. Notice if you've come up out of your legs and you can continue to sink a little bit more into those legs. Inhale back to warrior two. And we'll do another fold in between, so come back to center. Hands to your hips. And this time, if you have a strap or a towel, or if you want to grab your hands behind you, something to try, or you can leave them on your hips, we're going to fold forward with a bind. So you keep driving your shoulders down away from your chest, and then fold forward. Keep pulling your hands away from your body. Again, bend in your knees, rocking forward towards your toes. Using the strength of your belly, pull it up. And let's take triangle. So set yourself up in your warrior two again. Pull that right hip back, slowly lengthening your left leg. Keep pulling that hip back. Reach with that left hand, keep reaching. And when you can't reach anymore, just drop that arm down, right arm lifts up, and then maybe your gaze over that right shoulder. Again, chest is wide open. Shoulders draw back. Feel like your shoulders are still drawing away from your ears here. Inhale, slowly come on up. Bend that toes in. Let's bring ourselves together. Nice work. That's really good. Hands to prayer. Close your eyes down. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open up your mouth, sigh it out. Again, big breath in and out. So let's just do one balancing pose. How about tree? Let's find our mountain pose, rooting down from our feet, working all the way up. Feet are hips width apart. Lifting up your toes so you're not gripping with your toes. Samasthiti, arms down by our sides. Shifting the weight into your left foot, emptying your right leg completely. And then taking that right leg, either bring it up to your inner calf or up to your inner thigh. Keep your gaze straight ahead to the horizon or the above. Maybe hands come to prayer. Maybe you grow your tree. Whole head's cut off. Hopefully you have your drishti you're looking at. It's not my head. If you fall out, just come back in, no big deal. Two more deep breaths here. Your hands back to prayer and lay down. Close your eyes, take a clearing breath in. Exhale. Arms back down by your side, Samasthiti. Shift the weight onto your right foot and bring your left leg up. And it may look different on this side than it did on the other. Put anywhere above or below the knee joint. Just do not put your foot on your knee. Maybe hands to prayer. And maybe you grow your tree.
Hands back to prayer. Leg comes down. Eyes closed. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. All right, grab your mat. Super. Nice. Let's just do a couple more spinal twists and we'll get into Shavasana. So lay all the way back down. Stretch yourself long on your mat, so legs are long. Clasp your hands together and press your palms outward. Bring them up over your head. Belly pulls in, a nice body stretch. Big breath in. To exhale, bring that right hand into your chest. If your lower back's still cranky, you can bend that left leg, or you can let it be down. Your hips should be pretty open by now. A lot of good hip openers. And then just bring that left, the right leg over to the left, tee out your right arm. And then maybe your gaze goes over your right shoulder. Pull your belly on in, come back to center. Legs stretch long, arms long overhead. Your belly pulled in, bring your left leg in. Side to side. Then over to the right, left arm keys out, gaze to the left. Come back to center. Leg stretches long, one more body stretch. Bring both knees down into your chest. And then just some rocking side to side. And then we're going to bring ourselves into Supta Baddha Konasana. So this is how we started, with our soles of our feet together. Knees dropping down. You can rest your hands on the inside of your thighs here. Notice how open your hips feel. Relax your shoulders down into your back. Eyes closed down. Now using those hands again. Use them to bring your thighs together. Walk your feet to the outside edges of your mat so your knees collapse in towards one another. And maybe you lift your hips up and then place them back down again. This is one more lower back release. If you want to stay in Shavasana like this, you can. Or you can stretch out one leg at a time onto your mat. And take rest. Arms open. For Shavasana, there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Relax. Be with what sensations you're feeling in your body right now. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. You make circles with your wrists or your ankles. Then bring one knee into your chest, followed by the other. Then some rock and roll back and forth, side to side. Falling onto your right side in a fetal position. And then using your left hand to press yourself on up. Top of your mat, eyes closed. Hands in prayer. And I know it's been a long time since I've given any quotes in class. But I heard this the other day and I absolutely love it. Everything changes every second. Carry your thumb knuckles up to your forehead. And together we'll bow and say to one another, Namaste. All right, we got your hips and shoulders and lower back. And how we feeling? Good?
Good. Thanks,
Good.
Sam. Great.
Thanks. Yeah, good one. Have a good day.
You too. We'll see you.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.